afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the show. This is Just Parlays with Chris King. I am your host, Scott Steehn, lead handicapper at WHINERS.com. I'm here just kind of to just to guide the boat a little bit. You're the engine, and I'm just kind of the guy with his hand on the Evinrude 9.9, buddy. That's pretty much my job. I just keep us going into those waves straight on. Don't let them go over the side of the gunnels.
So you're basically saying that you're Tubbs from Miami Vice.
Sure, why not?
I could have said you were Switek or Zito, but you know.
Yeah, well, I don't know who those people are. So
you didn't watch Miami Vice?
No, I did not.
How did you not watch that show?
I didn't watch it, dude. I was watching other stuff. Sorry.
What the hell were you watching on TV that was so important in the 80s?
I was getting drunk and having sex. That's what I was doing in the 80s. I spent a lot of the 80s doing that. And then I started traveling and I was on the road. So,
well, yeah, that's true with all the comedy shows.
Getting drunk and having sex. So there you go. I don't know. Was it on like Friday night or something stupid?
It might have been. I'll have to look.
I gotta fucking see it.
I don't know. You know, they always flipped around when all those shows were on TV. It's like, you know, you couldn't figure out you couldn't keep something in one time slot.
Right. I understand.
Which I thought was stupid, but you know.
Super Sly in the house. Good to see you, Super Sly. Lex Steele checking in with. I love when he says the Buffalo Bill and the half of great Scott. I'm the greater Scott. I'm just gonna say it. I'm putting it out there. I don't think that's a hot take.
No, I think we've said that before,
dude. Did you miss anything yesterday? You hit them all, didn't you?
Well, no, the 4-teamer didn't work out because.
Oh, you didn't get the 4-teamer home?
Oh no, I mean the 4-teamer we had on the show, but the 4-teamer on the premiums, you know, hit, and
right.
both the 2-teamers on the premiums hit, and on the show I'd have to look. I mean, we talked about the Marlins and the Yankees yesterday, and we talked about the Giants and the Blue Jays, and all those teams won.
Yep, absolutely true.
And of course, we then jinxed Noah Syndergaard because, you know, we talked about how he had been pitching well, and he gave up 6 runs in the first inning.
Yeah, that was we had I had my play of the day was the Angels on the run line. Start at the top of the first, three runs, 3-0. You got Syndergaard on the mound. He's done nothing but mow people down all year long. Goes out and gives up a fucking half dozen. So.
Yeah, and then you looked, and Texas didn't score the rest of the game.
I'm aware.
It's like, what the hell was that?
Just bizarre.
Bizarre. Hey, the Pirates actually got hits yesterday.
Yeah.
Plural. Of course, 2 of them came against Michael Rucker.
It took a minute for them to get there, but they did. Ryan Page in the house as the Astros disappeared down the stretch. Yeah, they finally got it even, and here comes the rain, and there go the Astros.
Yep, to quote Milli Vanilli, blame it on the rain.
Blame it, or whoever wrote that song.
Whoever
sang that song. Michael Dost in the house needs a little Yankees run line. You might have come to the right place.
I would say so.
Michael wants to know if Cueto looked good or the Royals looked bad. I have no idea. I'll just say Cueto looked good against the Royals. I think that's all you can say because that is a bad team. They fired their hitting coach.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought it was funny. I didn't realize their hitting coach was Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah. So that tells you some of the problems right there. But
I mean, he knows how to take some hits, but you know,
it was ironic. It was fitting that Terry Bradshaw was our hitting coach because the Royals have had a definite failure to launch. Thank you very much, folks. I'll be here all week. When you can tie a sports reference and a movie reference with a sports figure into the same, that's some high level shit right there. I'm just going to say it. Yeah, Cueto looked very good, man. He was I think he went, what did he go, 6?
Yeah, 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts.
Yeah.
And then Kendall Graveman proceeded to do what every relief pitcher seems to do in Major League Baseball this season in blowing a lead.
Light him on fire.
Yeah, 3 runs on 4 hits in the 8th.
Still wasn't enough.
No, I mean, I still don't like the ghost runner thing. I know it really wouldn't have mattered since Robert homered in the 10th, but still.
No, I agree.
I hate the ghost runner. This isn't wiffle ball in your backyard.
I agree. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. You used to play one-on-one wiffle ball too. Did you do that?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Oh my God, the things that entertained us by the hour back in the day. What are you thinking, though? Miami, an alternate run line tonight, -4 plus 120.
He's talking about the Heat, not the Marlins. Okay,
just
making sure.
It took me a minute. Like, man, you better be getting a better price on that.
That's what I was thinking.
What about you, bud?
I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a defensive struggle, I think, the whole way. I mean, both these teams were excellent on the defensive end of the floor. I know
Number
Miami,
1 and 2 against the 3-pointers, by the way.
yeah, and that's how Boston got here was the 3 in Game 7.
I will say this. If you're asking about an alternative run line, I think the value between -2 and -4, you're getting 30 cents of value there. I think that's okay. I think if you like the Heat, I think playing that -4 is a fine move because the odds are in your favor that it's not going to land 3.
This is true,
right? Or 3 or less is what I meant. So,
yeah, Marcus Smart's still questionable for the Celtics with that sprain, midfoot sprain. Kyle Lowry is out for
yep.
Miami.
And I will say this: even if you like the Celtics and you think Miami gets a game, this could be the game for you because of the travel and the disparity in the schedules with the playing of Game 7 and Miami having 3 weeks off or however long it's been since their last game.
Yeah, I think they played was it Thursday night?
Is that it?
I think it was Thursday,
middle end of last week. So
yeah, so they've had 3, 4, or 5 days to rest, and Boston, like you said, had to play Sunday.
Right. So yeah, even if you think Boston wins it in 6 or 7, this could definitely be a spot where Miami gets on the board first with the grind involved. So hey, want to remind you guys, of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that thumb. Get subscribed to both of our YouTube channels, the Max Wagers Network and Winners and Winers YouTube channel as well. And check out the great deal that we've got going with our partners over there at Caesars Sportsbook. It's $1,100 bet insurance. You can bet up to $1,100. And if you lose that bet, Caesars will make it right. It is a no-risk proposition for your first bet on your first deposit with Caesars. And if you have Caesars in your state, congratulations, you're in good shape. Must be 21, of course, unless you're in New Hampshire or Wyoming, where you have to be 18. And yeah.
So if you had bet $1,100 on, say, the Marlins yesterday,
yeah,
you would have been pretty happy.
You'd have been pretty happy indeed. And it's a good spot if you got that lock, if you got that game that you really like. Let's say you maybe listen to a certain video on YouTube and somebody was taking the under in the NBA game tonight. You're like, man, that's a smart motherfucker right there. I think I'm going to risk $1,000. For example, you could do that. That'd be a great spot for that. The code is ATS wins Caesar, ATS WINSCZR. That code and a link to the actual page that'll get you hooked up is in the description for today's video. And Chris, you talked about your parlays, about your premium parlays. I know you've had a great week, both freebies and the premiums, but the premiums have really been on fire. So if you're looking to get Chris's premiums, there's a link in the show description. And if you're looking to get mine, we've been running extremely well lately. We went 2-1 again yesterday. I've got mine there as well. So Mavericks for the upset. Anybody? Luka looks good, and he has a little help right now, says Super Sly. I told you I liked the series price yesterday. I didn't hate either dog. I thought they were both good values on both the dogs for the series. Now,
the weird part was that the Heat are the dog in the series now, which is weird since they have home court advantage and they're the 1 seed.
Right. Yeah, it is kind of a weird thing. Rachel brought up a good point that if you wanted to take a shot with Dallas or with Boston or with Miami, you could take a little gamble on the first game, especially with Dallas being on the road. See if they lose, and then you get
better odds,
plus 250 instead of 180. So if that's you're obviously involves a little bit of a gamble because if like Dallas is or whatever they are plus 180 or something going into this series, if they win that first game, that's going to be even money plus 120 maybe something like that. So
yeah, let's see what they've got here.
But if you got a little gamble in you, that's a way to pick up some value. If you don't, lock it up at plus 180, which I think is still a good price.
I'm just trying to see here. Let's see. The Warriors are now minus 220.
Yeah. That's what it was yesterday. Minus 220 plus 180.
Yeah.
Maybe it was even plus 190.
Yeah, I think it opened at plus. I thought it was 250, 190, or 250, 210 originally.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it shifted a little bit, but not a ton, but you're right. If Dallas turns around and wins tomorrow, then you could shoot yourself in the foot as far as the value number.
Right. James S says I'm on the Mavs, not just the first game. Exactly. That's exactly the mindset. If you have that mindset, that's the mindset where you wait and make the play after tomorrow's game. So, all right, bud. Well, let's do a little business. And I just found out something exciting before this show started. I want to let everybody know. As some of the regulars probably know, we do Allie's show every Tuesday evening, Total Chaos, and usually the Winners and Whiners crew in some formation there. And you're going to be joining us tonight, so we're pretty excited about that for the first time in a couple of weeks.
Who's we? I mean, is Rachel excited, or I mean, did you tell
we're
them?
We're all excited.
Sure,
we're all excited, man. Get to spend a little extra time with each other. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's why I hear that we're extending the NASCAR show to 3 hours.
That is not true. That is absolutely not true. But we are adding Rye Cape. He is.
Are we? I saw you guys talking back and forth about it the other day, but I wasn't really paying attention. I was trying to catch up with all the other crap that was going on.
It was pretty good, man. He cashed 2 of his 3 drivers. Did a nice job. Brings a. He was lucky for me. So.
Yeah, so that means he's out.
Yeah. No, he's going to be part. He could be bumping you. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, that gives me more time off. I don't care.
Yeah, that's not quite the threat I probably thought it was, huh?
No, not in the least.
All right. Hey, what do we got cooked up for today, buddy?
Well, we'll start on the diamond, and we'll start with a game a series we talked about yesterday. We told you to take the Marlins yesterday, and Sandy Alcantara mowed down the Nationals over 7 frames as they went on to win by the narrow score of 8-2. Well, guess what? The Nationals it's another day. It's another starting pitcher with an ERA north of 7. Joan Adon starting for Washington. He's 1-6. His ERA is 7.03. He leads the majors with 23 free passes, and he's also thrown 6 wild pitches. So he's basically Rick Vaughn in his prime.
Get him some glasses. Get that kid some glasses.
And you got to make sure you got skull and crossbones there in the middle too.
You make my heart sing, Adon.
Yeah, you make everything groovy.
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff here, man. What's the?
Yep.
Give me some highlights.
Well, I mean, the Marlins 6-0 in their last 6 against the NL East. They're 4-0 in their last 4 against teams with winning percentage below 400. Which, in case you're wondering, the Nationals are 12-25. They're below 333. They're 6-2 in their last 8 against Stars with a WHIP greater than 1.3, and if you look, Adon's at 1.719.
What is that? Let me ask you something. Does that stat really mean anything? They beat up on shitty pitchers. Congratulations.
But we've seen some teams that don't.
But don't you think that's more of a statistical anomaly? When you see teams that are like, and they're 2-7 against pitchers with whips over 1.4, like. Isn't that just kind of a weird anomaly? Is that really actionable?
I don't know. Would you, if I told you that the Royals were 2-11 in their last 13 against starters with a whip greater than 1.3, would you go out and bet the Royals?
No.
There you go.
No, but I wouldn't. I mean, that's a terrible example because I'm not going to bet the Royals much at all. I mean, I can't even imagine the pitching matchup I'd have to bet the Royals right now.
I mean, you had Lynch going against Keuchel, and you still didn't bet him.
Yeah, I think that's a great example right there. So,
okay. But the Nats are 2-9 in their last 11 against teams with a losing record. They're 1-5 in their last 6 as a road underdog. They're 0-6 in their last 6 on the road against teams with a sub 500 record, and they've lost 9 of the last 12 meetings. Michael Dost asked if the Nationals have anyone in AAA to bring up the pitch who can't be any worse than Adon.
I'm guessing. I don't even know if Adon spent much time in AAA.
I don't know. I'm going to take a quick look here.
So what we're saying is take the Marlins. Don't be afraid to lay that run line either.
No, I mean, we said to lay the run line yesterday. AAA, he made 1 start in Rochester, and that was it.
Yeah, I told you.
He had 3 starts in AA ball. He made 17 starts in high A last year before getting called up. And then, of course, he pitched in the Dominican Winter League and sucked there, too.
Yeah, who didn't?
So yeah, not a whole lot of track record above. I mean, you can't even really say he has anything over high A, really, because he made 3 starts at Harrisburg and one, like I said, one in Rochester.
Not good, Bob. Not good
Yeah,
at all.
I'm just looking to see if Washington has anybody in the minors worth a damn. But I'm not going to have a ton of optimism there.
Right.
Because you would think if they did, like Michael said, those guys would probably be up right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh
yeah, if they're
boy,
bringing
those
up the dude with one AAA start that started last year in high A, you got to think that that's a pretty dry cupboard there, pretty bare cupboard.
Yeah, let's check out their stats here for Rochester starting pitchers. Oh boy, let's see. Wow, they show one guy. Oh, that's qualified players. Okay, they got one guy that's made. Well, Reed Garrett's 3-1 out of the bullpen, so that's not going to help. Starts Jackson Tetro is 2-2 with a 3.86 ERA, 1.31 WHIP in 8 starts. He's only got 37 and oh, they got Jeffrey Rodriguez down there.
Oh, J-Rod.
Yeah,
Jeff Rod.
Yeah, 16 walks, 26 strikeouts, and 25 and 2/3. 7 starts, and he's gone 25 and 2/3 innings.
Wow, that's not exactly stretched out. Jackson Tetro.
Yeah, he's their best starter.
Ace, the ace.
Yeah, 2-2, 3.86, 15 walks, 37 strikeouts, 131 WHIP, 37 and a third in 8 starts. So he's not even going 5 a start.
Fuck, he should be the bedrock of that rotation.
I mean, I'm just looking at their starters here. Nobody's averaging more than 4 and change a start. Cade Cavalli's made 6 starts, 27 and 2/3. Luis Reyes has made 4 starts and a relief appearance and gone 13 and a third. In case you were wondering why they haven't called him up, he's 0-1 with an ERA of 14.18, a WHIP of 3.
Not good.
16 walks, 11 strikeouts, and opponents hitting a putrid 393 against him.
This deep dive in the Washington Nationals minor league system has been brought to you by the city of Washington, D.C. Hey, if you think our baseball team sucks, wait till you see our government. Washington, D.C.
Wow, they have Carl Edwards closing down there.
Carl Edwards?
Yeah.
of NASCAR fame?
No, as in former Cubs reliever that pitched in Game 7 of the World Series 5 years ago.
Oh yeah. Who doesn't remember that? Okay, dude. What else we got?
I know Michael remembers.
Almost took New York team total over 5.5.
Yeah, yesterday.
I wouldn't be shy about jumping on the Yankees for about anything right now.
Yeah, I mean, they've been pounding people. And Spencer Watkins, you talk about a guy who has issues on the mound. Here's a prime example. Watkins is pitching, I think his FIP ERA is 6.72. Opposing hitters have a 5.97 slugging against him. He has no wins.
In a surprising development, he's winless this season.
Yeah, his FIP WHIP is 5.71. His xERA is 6.97. His WHIP is 1.577. He's walked almost as many guys as he's struck out.
Dude, I think we could save a lot of time here and just say he sucks.
Whoa!
I don't think you have to go full deep dive Saber to express the point that Spencer Watkins has not had a great season so far.
Whoa, that is harsh, man.
I mean, you're not going to see he's got a 5.19 ERA, 1.57 WHIP. You're not going to see he's got but he's got a FIP of 1.2. I don't understand. This kid's been really unlucky. Like, no, it's never going to happen. Now, you will see if you see a disparity between FIP or if you go even further, if you use XFIP, if you see a big disparity between that and their other more traditional stats, the ERA or the WHIP, I mean, then it does mean something. But when everything points that direction, you're like, yeah, dude, he just sucks.
Now, do you lean more towards WHIP or not WHIP, FIP or XFIP?
Well, I mean, when you can find it, I like XFIP, but on Baseball Reference on the general page, they just use FIP. So
right.
I don't generally do the extra deep dive unless there's something about those numbers that don't ring true. and then I'll go to oh, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
With and check XFIP and all that. But
I mean, a prime example of a guy that had bad luck, turned it around yesterday. We talked about Freddie Peralta yesterday with the Brewers. His ERA was up near 5, but his FIP is 2.03.
Right.
And he threw 7 scoreless yesterday.
Right, and that generally means that you've been pitching in bad luck. For those of you that don't know, that don't do the deep dive on baseball, FIP stands for fielding independent of pitching, or right, fielding independent pitching. There you go. So it basically takes out plays that weren't necessarily ruled errors, but probably could have gone another direction. And then XFIP goes one further. It takes into account the park factor as well. So those are two of the, and I mean, they're not even new now. They're 10, 12, 15 years old, whatever. But those are kind of some of the Saber stuff if you want to do a little deep dive into baseball stats. I think baseball stats, more than anything else, you can go about as deep as you want.
Yep. And so there you go. Scott summed it up by saying Spencer Watkins sucks.
His team sucks. He sucks. It's not going to be a good day.
So are you saying that this could be Spencer for hire?
yeah. He may not have as much luck as the actual Spencer as far as getting hired goes, because
that's a tough break.
He hasn't put himself out there. Yankees they're just dominating, dude. You got it out there. They've 8-1 against the East, 9-2 when their opponent scores 2 or less, which is kind of an indication that you get a team that's playing shitty. They continue to play shitty.
And look at the next line: the Orioles 12-58 in their last 70 against teams with a winning percentage above 600.
Yep. Not good. And we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Yankees have dominated this series over the last couple of seasons, 26-9, last 35 in Baltimore, 39-13 overall. That is 750 winning percentage, by the way, kids, if you're scoring at home.
Michael said maybe he'd be for hire at Spencer's stores, but not pitching.
Yeah, there's somebody that ought to be selling like farts in a jar. You remember farts in a jar?
Yep.
That was an actual product, kids. And yet you and I toil here, Chris. How can that be?
I know it's ridiculous.
The pet rock. Come on now. Come on.
Yeah, good old pet rock.
Take the Yankees. Lay the run line. Lay 2.5. I don't care.
Yeah, I didn't see if anybody had the 2.5 lined up what the juice was on that. I imagine it would probably be plus money.
Pretty close. I would say close to even money, maybe plus 105, something like that.
Let's see if anybody has it, just out of curiosity.
Oh, you can always find it.
Yeah, I see Unibet and Bet Rivers have -2 at -109. So,
okay.
So yeah, I would imagine, like you said, make it plus 105 or something on 2.5.
Yep. All right, I like that, man.
Super Sly mentioned the Chia Pet.
Oh yeah, another one. Although you needed some actual skills to develop that. You needed to figure out the chemical reaction thing about how to get hair to grow out of a piece of pottery. But I mean, yeah, other than that, I'm just trying to think of some of the shit I've seen on Shark Tank that made a bunch of money. And you kick yourself and go, why can I fucking do that?
I don't know, when I think of Shark Tank, I think Saturday Night Live when Kevin Hart's out there doing, we put shades on lamps, crafters. And they're like, there been any interest in this? Have you done research? I have, and there is not.
I'd forgotten about that. I was looking at I can usually get half lines here on this one.
And like James Mount said, there's a sucker born every day.
Yeah, there are. Have you ever bought a Shark Tank product, Chris?
Yeah, I got the Scrub Daddy, and my wife bought that Fit board, whatever the hell it was.
Oh yeah, I remember the Fit board. We also have purchased a Scrub Daddy, which I think is still the most successful company ever pitched on Shark Tank.
That or the Squatty Potty.
Did that make money?
Oh yeah, they made like $180 million or some crap for a fucking stool.
Jesus Christ. Okay. All right, I'm okay.
Well, Scott's looking up the 2.5 line on the
plus 110. Plus 110.
There you go. So you were right on the money there.
Yep.
And AJ's wants to know how much for a fart.
I don't remember.
You want, but you have to bring your own jar.
I'll put it in a jar for you. I don't care. It's like it'd be just like the jug of moonshine that just said XXX on it. That's
And
open it.
Dirty Al said that Manscaped shredded him and he had to go back to Norelco.
The whole manscaping thing, that's a good racket there. Because you take products that already existed, but you put them in a plastic bag and say manscaping on them. You go, oh yeah, I can buy that. God bless him. You do a little manscaping there, Chris?
No, I don't.
Huh?
That's too much of a pain in the ass.
Literally.
I don't know. I mean, you're the one that has the hairy Gant.
Thank you, Harry Gant, folks. Pride of Skull. All right, so take the Yankees, lay numbers. Go ahead.
Yep.
Next.
I'll move on to the NHL.
All right.
And we got the Battle of Florida tonight as the Tampa Bay Lightning go on to the road to face the Florida Panthers. Teams split 4 meetings in the regular season. It'll be, of course, the battle of the Russian goaltenders is Andrei Vasilevsky, who was 4-3 with the 304 goals against an 897 save percentage in the opening round. Starts against Sergei Bobrovsky, who was 4-2-0 with a 279 goals against and a 906 save percentage. And Scott, what you've got here is the two-time defending champs against a team that hadn't won a playoff series, since Bob Dole was running for president.
That's exactly right. It's not an exaggeration either.
What do you make of this series?
Well, you know what? I was 1-1 on these teams. I liked the Lightning to move on the last round, and they did that.
Unfortunately for me, because I wanted them to lose.
I know you did, buddy. But I'm still. This Panthers offense, as good as they are and as fast as they are, they go in these weird little dips where they just can't get anything done. And I'm not sure. Again, that's the price I pay for not being as intricately knowledgeable about hockey as I am other sports. Is I can't pick up on some of the subtleties like that. I really don't understand the rationale about why that happens. With a football team or basketball team, I can posit at least a relative hypothesis of the situation. In hockey, I can't. So, Chris, what's going on with the Panthers offense and why aren't they more consistent? Is it just better goaltending and better defense in the playoffs?
Well, you would think so, but they played Washington in the first round, and Washington, of course, was not notorious for having good goaltending.
Right.
Like James Mount said, power play sucks. Florida, they were notorious for lighting people up in the regular season, and then you turn around and get to the playoffs, and they didn't really do as much as you would have expected. Plus, you saw all their big names. You saw Jonathan Huberdeau shut down. You saw what's his name? Barkov shut down. You rely on Carter Verhaeghe, who leads the playoffs in goals, I believe. Or no, he's now fourth, but that's because Gunsel scored a bunch, and so did Evander Kane. But when you've got Carter Verhaeghe scoring 6 goals for you in the opening round of the playoffs, and you're sitting around going, who the fuck is Carter Verhaeghe? And I can see that look on your face right now.
Glad to know it wasn't just me.
But, Florida in the opening round, 0 for the series on the power play. Nothing. Bupkis, squat.
I don't think they're going to be able to replicate that and win this series against Tampa Bay.
No, and I mean Tampa Bay was pretty good shorthanded against Toronto. I mean, Toronto went into the playoffs with the top-rated power play, but went 4 for 28 in the 7 games.
Yikes.
And Vasilevsky, I know we use this phrase a lot. Everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth. Right. Tampa Bay got punched in the mouth repeatedly in that series against the Leafs. Nobody expected that series to go to 7 games. Nobody expected Tampa Bay to have to win game 6 and 7 to get out of the opening round.
Right.
Now Tampa Bay, the worst thing you want to do is wake up a team like the Lightning. And now Florida is in the unenviable position of having to deal with that. And I don't trust Bobrovsky. I mean, these teams met in the playoffs last year. Tampa Bay turned Bobrovsky into, a pylon. And it got to the point where they replaced him with Spencer Knight in the playoffs. You stuck a rookie goaltender in there.
Right.
I'm going to go with Tampa Bay, and I'll take the plus money.
Okay. I'm with you. You see that a lot in sports of all kind, where the team will have a tough game or a tough series, and they play down to the level of the first round competition, and you're like, oh God, I don't know what happened to them, but these guys they're done. And then all of a sudden they find their groove, they get a little confidence, and they just roll through the rest of the tournament.
Yeah,
So,
and I mean, just look at the line right here. Tampa Bay 24-5 in the last 29 games in the second round. This is the first time Florida's been in the second round since 1996.
right. So, yeah, well, I mean, you can't even come close to making a comparison as far as experience goes. So,
right, and that pays major dividends this time of year.
Right, absolutely. All right, you and I agree on this one.
And Jim said Bolton up for Tampa Bay.
I like it. I know. Oh, that's right. He's a Tampa guy.
And that'll take us to the other exciting game. And Scott, a team close to your neck of the woods there, the St. Louis Blues now get to go to Ball Arena. I'm sure you'll be following this series for Clar and Company.
I will.
And don't forget, you can catch Scott on Clar and Company. What time is that, Scott?
It is. My segment is 10:30 Central Time, so 11:30 Eastern, 9:30 Mountain, 8:30 Central on Saturday morning.
And what time is that in Hawaii?
It's 4:30.
Okay. So there you go. If
That's
you want to catch
1600 ESPN out of Denver, and they do stream on all the regular platforms, including Odyssey. So you can.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
The Avs won 2 of the 3 meetings between the teams in the regular season, including a 5-3 win in late April. It's going to be Jordan Binnington, big surprise there, 3-0 with a 167 goals against, a 943 save percentage since coming in the playoffs against Darcy Kemper, who's had a week up plus off now. After getting that stick in the eye in Game 3 against Nashville, he's 2-0 with a
stick in your eye
with a 163 goals against and a 934 save percentage in the playoffs. The Blues 5th in goals for and 5th in goals against in the playoffs. Colorado, look at that, Scott. 1st in goals for, averaging 5.25 goals a game. They outscored Nashville 21-9 in their 4-game sweep.
That'll get you some wins.
Yeah. Do you have any faith in the Blues in this series?
Zero.
So you no faith at all?
No, I think Bennington's a good story. Did a nice job there coming in the opening series. This Colorado Avalanche team, after a disappointing playoff performance last year when they had the best record in hockey, I think they are hungry. I think they're focused. They did nothing in that first round against Nashville to dissuade me of that notion. This is a team that is destined for the Stanley Cup Finals at least. I've got Colorado early and often in this one.
So, do you think the Blues win any games in this series?
Yeah, I think it goes 5.
5.
I think the Blues may steal one in the shadow of the arch when they get back home, but I think that's going to be it for me. I just don't see them having the talent on really on either side to keep up with Colorado. And the big thing for Colorado is they're finally healthy.
Yeah, and that's the big, like you said, that's a major thing because you've got Rantanen, you got Landeskog, you got McKinnon, Makar.
Right, all guys who've missed significant portions of the season. Not necessarily at the same time, but it's kind of been a death by 1,000 cuts at times with Colorado this year with some of the injuries. So,
and Jim said the Blues uniforms are better than the Avs, so there's that.
I do agree. I think the Blues have a classic uniform with the jazz note on there and everything. Yeah, I guess.
Unfortunately, they don't give you free goals for having a better looking uniform.
Nope. So yeah, I'm on the Avalanche here. The problem with the Avalanche is they do tend to at times. Now they didn't against Nashville, but they do tend to at times. Again, play down a little bit to the level of their competition. So you see them win games in overtime. You see them win 1-goal games. So I don't necessarily have the confidence in the puck line with them that I do some of the other teams. And I don't really, again, it's a good place for this bet at the Parlays show because laying 220 by itself is not something I would really want to get involved in. But if you want to put it in, if you want to make your 3-team or a 4-team or put a little sweetener in there or something like that, I think it's a good spot for that. They can jack up the value of your parlay.
To your point, the 3 games this season, 2 of them were back in October. The Blues won 5-3 on October 16th. The Avs won 4-3 on October 28th in St. Louis, and then they won 5-3 at home on April 26th.
Which I think was an empty netter, if I'm not mistaken.
I can look at that. Hold on one second.
It could be wrong, but I think it was.
You were correct. Nazem Kadri hit an empty netter at 19:13 of the third period.
There you go.
Colorado was up 4-1 in that game with under 5 minutes to go. Ryan O'Reilly scored twice, a minute 1:04 apart, and late in the third to make it 4-3 before Kadri hit the empty net.
Okay, gotcha.
And if you didn't want to go that route where you wanted to pick a side, I'll tell you what, one of the safest bets you could probably make in this one would be the over. I know that, if it's over 6.5, the juice is at anywhere between 125 and 140. If you go to over 7, it's get plus money at FanDuel. But the last 6 meetings between these teams have gone over the number 9, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8. As far as goals on the board, and the Blues 13-2-1 to the over in their last 16 on the road.
Very solid. Very solid. That's a great little bonus tip. I probably like the over. Well, obviously I like Colorado to win. Again, not laying 220. So as far as a practical bet, I probably like the over. Is probably my favorite bet on the board with this game. Maybe Binnington saves. I don't know what it's at, 32.5 or so, maybe.
Let me see if I can find that real quick.
I wouldn't hate that.
Yeah, I mean, with the way Colorado can ramp up the shots, just ask Connor Ingram. He's probably still dealing with PTSD from being shell-shocked.
Right.
Because, I mean, Nashville, they basically hung him out to dry, but they had no choice.
He stopped 52 in the first game and lost.
Yeah. Let's see. Goal scorers. See what it says. If they got under all bets or not. 3-way full goal scorer. Not seeing it pop up. Is there a different place you guys looked at BetMGM and stuff like that?
I've got some different places I look. Let me. I'll look around here. Talk about the next one, buddy.
Okay, well that'll take us to the NBA, where we got the one game on the board. It's the Eastern Conference Finals. The Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics. Celtics got here, of course, by hitting a franchise record 378 threes in Game 7 over the Bucks.
Heard about you.
Meanwhile, Milwaukee was 4 of 33 in that game, and like Scott told you guys yesterday, you're usually not going to win games when you shoot 12% from 3. That's a pretty good number to hang your head on. Celtics 7th in postseason scoring offense, 108.5. They're 8th in field goal percentage at 45.4. They're 6th in 3-point shooting at 37%. Miami leads the league in scoring defense in the playoffs, just 97.5 points a game. They're 2nd in field goal percentage defense, 44.1. They're 4th in 3-point defense, 33.2. Boston 3rd in scoring defense in the postseason, 101.8. Tied for 3rd in field goal percentage defense at 44.3%. They're tied with the Warriors. They're 3rd in 3-point defense, 32.9%. I think this is going to come down to a lot with home court advantage. And like Scott said, the rest factor works in Miami's favor here, not having played since beating Philadelphia on the road Thursday. Boston then had to play Friday in Game 6 on the road, then had to play at home in Game 7 on Sunday. If Boston's going to win this series, they're going to need Marcus Smart, because they're going to have as many hands on deck to try and stop Jimmy Butler as possible. Smart was one defensive player of the year, good, bad, or indifferent, as to what you may think about that particular choice for the award. My concern is the fatigue factor. Miami is not going to let Grant Williams stand out there by himself and shoot 85 3-point attempts like Milwaukee did in Game 7. Like, oh yeah, that guy's a piece of shit. He can't hit anything. And then, they proceeded to not adjust.
Right.
Andrew says Marcus Smart's tougher than a $2 steak. That might be, but if you're limited at all mobility-wise with that foot, can you stay in front of Butler? Because we know Butler will go to the basket early and often.
And can you lose Butler when you're on offense? That's the other thing.
That's true too.
That's the other question. Chris, that for all the talk of this has become a 3-point shooting league and how much the league has changed. All 4 conference final teams finished in the top 5 as far as points allowed in defense.
That's true.
So they've all played good defense. You're going to see some outrageously low numbers for totals. You're not going to see a ton of I mean, you will in the Golden State game, you will, but I mean, you're not going to see a number over 208 in this Boston Miami series.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if you got even past 206.
And I'm just thinking, that's if like the first 2 games end up going, 240 or something, where they're going to adjust it up. I don't even think with an upward adjustment you're going to get to 210 or maybe even 208.
Yeah, I agree with you. Ninja, as far as we know, Smart is still listed as questionable. They haven't updated it. I'll double check the NBA.
I'll do that right now while you're doing your thing. I'll check Marcus Smart on Roto.
Okay, I know I usually check the league injury report too. As of 2:30 when it came out, he's still marked as questionable. Scott might have something different on RotoWire or anything like that, but we'll keep you posted as well as we know.
Yeah. He's still, everybody's still got him questionable. He remained in the game. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, really, they're not giving anything away there. That is truly questionable.
Yeah, so I mean, even if he plays, at what percentage do you think he's going to be? That's what you have to look at.
The question. That's the secondary question. Not only the only question. It's not the only question. Is he going to play? The second question is what percentage of his full abilities will he bring to the table?
Now, which way are you leaning in this game one, Scott? Because I obviously like the Heat. That the line was 1.5. I think at BetMGM this morning. It might have bumped back up.
This is a tough one for me because, like I said, I liked Miami to win the series here. I just liked the price. I think Boston is rightly the favorite. I think they're playing really good basketball. But if Miami's going to steal one, I think it's tonight. But I just think this Boston team is playing really good basketball right now. I think it's going to be a good game. I think Boston probably gets it done.
Okay, well, there you go, Scott. Just throwing random shit out there because he had no statistical analysis.
What do you want? I mean, I'm the one that told you about the defense. What do you want? You've laid out 9 bullet points here. What do you want me to say?
Oh, and Michael said the saves for Binnington was 30.5.
30.5.
Over is -115, under -115 at Bovada.
Over. That's where I just looked at Bovada and couldn't find it. It tells you how good I am with looking through hockey stuff. Because Bovada was a spot that I thought it might be. No, I mean, and Chris, you know how this works. I can make a case for any team to do anything at this point. There's 4.
Right, that's the fun part.
There are 4 really good teams. I can lay out. If this was a debate, I could play either side. I really could. This Boston team really impressed me against Milwaukee. So I don't know what we're going to find out. We're going to find out how good Milwaukee was without Middleton.
Right. That was my take on that, is the fact that Boston got by because Antetokounmpo had to do everything.
Well, like I said, that's the take. Now we're going to find out this week whether that's an accurate take or not.
Right.
Because that was my take as well, and now we're going to find out if that's true. So, I just think I look at recent form, and I think this Boston team is playing really well. Now, obviously, Miami is too, but they weren't quite challenged the way Boston was against Milwaukee.
Well, but in fairness, that's the advantage of getting the top seed, is you get to face a lesser team.
True. Oh no, I get it. I'm not even looking at the Atlanta series because they had nobody in the middle.
Right.
Well, that's not really any kind of a gauge at all. Although interestingly enough, they gave up the same exact number of points against Atlanta and against Philadelphia. I want to say 97.4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's pretty close. As far as the money coming in, it looks like you got any lines on the money coming in? Yeah, on which way the money's going on that game, Scott? Game 1 tonight.
Let me check it real quick here, bud. It would appear that there's a money coming in on the under,
of course.
And as far as the spread goes, we're loading up here. Sorry, bud.
No problem. I'll move on to the 2 for the money while you're looking that up.
Yeah. It's Boston. It looks like the well, it looks like it's weird because it opened at +1 and now it's gone to +2, but it looks like the number of bets are coming in on Boston, but the money is favoring Miami. So you could analyze that and say the sharp money is on the Heat. We'll see.
We will find out. The two teamers tonight, I like like we said, the Marlins and the Yankees.
Yep.
Can't trust Baltimore.
Nope.
Got the Avs over the Blues, and I'm going to go with the Brewers over the Braves. I don't know if you saw the pitching matchup. Scott Adrian Hauser going against Tucker Davidson, who's made one appearance in the majors this season. It did not go well, hence why he only made one appearance. Davidson, in his lone appearance this year, gave up a total of, let's see, I know it was ugly, 5 runs on 5 hits with 2 walks and 2 strikeouts in 2 2/3 innings.
Pretty terrible, Chris. Pretty terrible indeed.
Yep, 16.88 ERA. That came in an 11-2 loss to the Nationals back on April 11th.
Okay. I mean, Hauser's been okay. Not outstanding, but he's okay. His ERA.
Milwaukee plays well at home.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, we saw that yesterday. I'm going to look for that to cash in again here. Tough break for, our favorite lead singer for Jethro Tull, as Ian Anderson took the hard luck loss in that 1-0 game.
Yeah, that's what I get for talking about how this Atlanta offense really seems to be finding their stroke right now, is they go out and get shut out. So, yeah, that's about the way that works. Okay, I'm good with that.
Move on to 4 for the show here. Look at that. We're going to start with Spencer Watkins.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Over 5.5 hits allowed. For some reason, this is at plus money.
Well, I think the only question is whether they allow him to stay that long.
He could get knocked out in 6 batters.
Well, that's true, but I'm saying he gives up 4 walks, 2 home runs, and 5 hits. I mean, I like it. I think it's a good play. It's not quite as easy as it looks. It's a lot like knocking the milk bottles over at the carnival.
True.
Like, how can I fucking not do this? But I'll just say there's a reason this is plus money. You got to have a couple things go right for you. But having said that, yeah, I'm a fan of that play.
I'm going to go with the Cardinals in game 1. It's the game that was rained out yesterday. That game starts in about 25 minutes or so. It's Mikolas and Trevor Williams. The Cardinals have beaten up Trevor Williams, the active guys. I think they're 37 for 114, so just about a 333 average against him in their careers. And Mikolas mowed down the Mets last month in St. Louis. The nightcap's going to be a different story because I can't stand Steven Matz, and I think Taijuan Walker will beat him. But in the opener, I'm going to take Mikolas over Williams.
Okay.
I'm going to take Tampa Bay over Florida, like we talked about. Experience, you can't put a price on what that brings in this time of the season. And the Heat over the Celtics. Scott, Nathan wants to know if the Suns versus Mavs was the biggest rig job in NBA history.
I don't know how much you'd have to pay those guys to go out there and shoot that terribly.
Yeah, I mean, what? Devin Booker didn't have his first basket until the third quarter or something like that?
I'm not, generally speaking, a proponent of the leagues are rigged. And I'll tell you why. It's not that I don't think that somebody wouldn't try it. It's not that I trust everybody to do the right thing. It's that you would have to have so many people involved for so long, for all that people have been claiming it, that somebody would have cracked by now. Somebody would have said something. Somebody would have got drunk and tweeted something. So that's my whole anti-fix situation. Is nobody's ever cracked.
Michael Dose said the biggest rig job in the NBA was the 1984 draft lottery with Patrick Ewing going to the Knicks.
That is true. That's very true. I do agree with that.
Well, there you go. So you do think that it was fixed?
Yes. Yes, I do.
You couldn't even say that you had a team to get. You gave a rat's ass about getting the number 1 pick either.
The Kings were gone by 84, if I'm not mistaken. That's right about the time they moved, if I remember right. I want to say like 82, maybe.
Yeah, I remember when they were still the Kansas City Kings. Those were the days.
A lot of fun, man.
Of course, I also remember when they were the Rochester Royals.
No, that was before my time. I remember the Cincinnati Royals, but not the Rochester Royals. It was Oscar,
they moved in 57.
What's that?
They moved in 57 to Cincinnati.
Yeah, there you go.
85 was when they moved to Sacramento.
Oh, all right, so they were still around for that.
So you just didn't care about the.
That's it. Well, the writing was on the wall when the brothers bought it.
Yeah, it was sold in 83.
Right. It was a dead man walking at that point.
I mean, that reminds me of when the Buffalo Braves, left because, that was all a giant thing because the Celtics owner, Irv Levin, wanted to move a team to the West Coast. So he swapped franchises with John Brown Jr. He took over the Braves and then moved them to San Diego, where they became the San Diego Clippers.
There you go. Little fun.
That's some historical stuff.
Little fun facts for you from Chris King right there.
And now I'll take you to the fun part here. I'm going to take the Mariners over the Blue Jays. I know Toronto won yesterday. I'm going to go back to Logan Gilbert one more time and see if he can put one in the win column. I just haven't been impressed with Jose Barrios. He's 2-2 with an ERA of almost 6. This isn't what Toronto traded away a bunch of prospects and stuff for. They expected to get an ace pitcher, not a guy who looks like Spencer Watkins.
He appears to be a bit of a belly itcher at this point.
There you go. I'm going to take the Cubs over the Pirates. Keegan Thompson starting against your favorite Pirates pitcher, Scott. You know who I'm talking
about? Is it Mitch Keller?
No.
Who is it?
JT Brubaker.
Oh. Why do I like Brubaker?
Because when we were talking about the Reds, you said, "Yeah, I was going to fade him," and I said, Brubaker was pitching. I was like, "Oh fuck, I can't do it."
Oh yeah, he's not my favorite. Yes, that's correct.
I'm going to take the Twins over the A's. Much like Gilbert, I think Dylan Bundy can bounce back after 2 putrid starts. Facing an A's team that can't score any runs should be a cure for what ails him. And I'm going to go with the Angels. Reed Detmers threw a no-hitter last time out. Scott was happy about that one because the Rays brought in Brett Phillips to help him get over the number.
Got over the total, baby. That's right. Never doubt.
So he's going against Taylor Hearn. Not impressed with Hearn. I don't think the Rangers will score 6 in the first like they did yesterday. I'll lean towards the Angels there. And like we were talking about, Scott, I'm going to go with the Celtics and Heat staying under 204, which is what the number is here.
Yep.
I'm going to look for Adebayo to post a double-double at plus 150. I mean, do you really trust the Time Lord who's still, limited, or Al Horford to keep him off the glass?
I do not.
And I look for Jimmy Butler to go over 24.5 points. He carried that team against Philadelphia. It'll be interesting to see how Boston tries to defend him. Is it going to be Smart? Is it going to be Tatum? Is it going to be Jaylen Brown? Is it going to be the ghost of Dennis Johnson? I mean, what are they going to do?
Right.
And then, like we talked about, the Blues and Avalanche over 6.5. We talked about the last 6 meetings for those teams going over the number. Blues, like we said, 13-2-1 to the over on the road. Tampa Bay and Florida, I look to go over 6.5. I mean, Tampa Bay will not be stonewalled as much, and they weren't really stonewalled when you look at the goals in that series, but Bobrovsky is just too damn inconsistent. And I look for Nathan McKinnon to go over 4.5 shots. He seemed to shoot the puck about 8 times a game against Nashville. I think you're going to see him get plenty of opportunities against the Blues in this game.
All right, very good. Any final thoughts?
No, I think we covered everything pretty well. I mean, obviously, you got a lot of options. It's a lot better than yesterday, where all we had to talk about was baseball.
Right.
Now you can go back to basketball and hockey for a bit. And if there's those of you that might want to watch the WNBA, I'm sure they have some games on.
Yep.
I can't remember who it is. I did look at it. Let's see. You got a whole bunch of games tonight.
There you go. A lot of opportunities to go out there and make that money. And thanks, Chris. And we thank you guys for stopping by. Everybody for all the comments, all the views, the likes, all that good stuff. You can catch us doing our thing every day. You can catch us on Allie Burns' show tonight, Should be posted somewhere around 8 o'clock Eastern time, talking about 5 baseball game totals for tomorrow. So check that out as well on Total Chaos. And if not, we'll see
And
see
Nathan
tomorrow,
said,
guys.
"Can we limit the Vegas fuckery today, for God's sake?"
That would be nice. That'd be nice. My dog did such a great job for like 55 minutes. Hey, we're out of here, guys. Check us tomorrow, as Chris and I will we'll be back with some underdog picks. I was bragging on him so much; he'd been doing so well. It's his least favorite dog. You guys have a great day. Come back and see us tomorrow. Chris and I will be talking about everything under the sun, including what, Chris?
Just parlays.
Just parlays, baby. You guys have a great day. Stay tuned. Scott and I will be right back on the other side. And we'll just
After traffic and weather on the 8s here.
Have a good weather on the 8s.
KRAP 107.6.
There you go. You guys have a great day. We'll see you next time.